In the future, in the year 2040, mankind has reached the peak of its technological development and has not only established a permanent colony on the Moon, but has also been able to develop minerals on Mars. By that time, mankind already knew the solar system like the back of its hand. So the idea of exploring beyond the solar system was born, and so a spacecraft called the Domain was born. The Fields was equipped with a man-made black hole device that, when activated, could collapse 2 dimensions and jump through time. But just as the ship reached Neptune, it suddenly disappeared without a trace, as if it had vaporized in an instant. Until 7 years later, humans suddenly received an audio message from Neptune that contained the screams of the crew along with an unknown language. Scientists matched it to every language in the world, but were unable to decipher its meaning. But the only thing they could determine was that the Fields had disappeared for 7 years and then reappeared on Neptune. In order to find out the truth, a rescue team was sent to Neptune and brought along Dr. Weir, the designer of the Because of the 60-day journey. All the crew went into hibernation. At first, everything went smoothly, but on the 56th day of the rescue ship's voyage, something strange began to happen. Dr. Weir was suddenly awakened by a voice and followed it to the control room. He went all the way to the control room and found a woman sitting in a chair, and her body shape was very similar to his wife's. Curious, Dr. Weir walks up to the woman, but is stunned when she turns around. The camera pans back to Will's hibernation and he awakens in horror. It turns out that it was just a dream, and the rest of the crew has also awakened. The captain informs the crew that they are about to arrive at Neptune, which is very close to the coordinates of the Fields, and reminds them to prepare for a search and rescue mission. However, just as the rescue ship entered the atmosphere, the airflow suddenly became very unstable, and the rescue ship shook so violently that they almost crashed into the Fields. At first sight, the crew was stunned by the size of the ship, but at the same time, the eerie atmosphere accompanied it. A ship of this size floating silently in space. Scans revealed something strange. Although there were no signs of activity on the outside of the ship, there were signs of activity on the inside all over the ship. Although he felt something was wrong, the captain decided to take a team inside to find out what was going on. The trio soon entered the ship. The temperature was extremely low and there was no open gravity. There were floating objects everywhere. It was obvious that there had been no signs of life inside for a long time. Under Dr. Weir's guidance, the 3 men searched the interior, and soon one of them found the Field's engine room, whose aisles were like a meat grinder. At the end of the aisle was the artificial black hole at the core of the ship. But just as the crew approached, the signal was suddenly cut off. The black hole then emits an intense light that soon turns into nothingness and darkness. The crew cautiously reached inside.